do you have to take the long view? I know Joel wants to play tomorrow night, but is it an understanding that you kind of have to keep things in perspective for the playoffs?
One, yes, those threes did hurt. Were they backbreakers? I won't say broken back, but yeah, close to it. But we got a chance to get back in the game. We got a chance to fight. But those three did hurt. In the grand scheme of things, we always look for big picture, regardless of situation, scenario. We don't compare ourselves to other teams though. But guys know their bodies here better than anybody in this league. So if Joel feels he can play, you know, let him let him have at it. And we're going to need him. There's big games coming up. These are good challenges for us, and we need against these type of teams. I think there's plenty of opportunity where we can put some money in the bank to rest him later in the season. We have some other games coming up where we can rest some guys, but I mean, it could be smart to rest him. It depends on how he feels his body. Tonight he played 32. He's used to playing 36, 38 most times. He's getting back into rhythm, back in shape. George is the one guy that I said I think we should he's still getting his legs under him, so we're more worried about him than anybody else. But everybody else should be well rested. There's no excuse. But then Joe might need to take some time off to come back from injury as well. But if he feels good, he knows his body better than anybody.
Noah Levick.
Hey, Danny. So at shoot-around, I know you talked about Matisse wanting to work with him offensively, and that obviously he knows what he's doing defensively. I was just wondering, given how good he already is on that end of the floor, do you see areas where he could potentially improve there?
Of course, there's areas to improve on both sides of the ball for every player. And as good as he is, it has nothing to do with him improving on it, but him figuring out certain guys' rhythms, certain guys' tendencies, and how to guard certain guys. And I think that's where, not just myself, but George, everybody else that's been in this league for a long time can say, you know what, we've been guarding CP for this long. Here's how you do it with Book. Make sure you make him go this way or do that, make him uncomfortable. And he's capable of doing it. So not necessarily just helping him improve on it, but just helping him know his personnel and how to guard those personnel. But yeah, he can definitely improve on that. And offensively, so I just want to simplify the game for him. I think he's thinking too much at moments, and I think he can help us, help the team, help himself by being a little more aggressive and just making the game simpler for him, so we don't have to think too much and just play basketball on that end of the floor.
Jackson Frank.
Hey, Danny, another question from Matisse. I'm curious. You've been on a lot of good teams, run a lot of good defenders. Is there anyone he reminds you of? Maybe how highly would you rank among perimeter defenders you'd be able to play with or play against? Maybe.
He reminds me of a better me. He's more athletic. Covers ground. Him and Ben. I said, when me and Kawhi are at San Antonio, that front court or that back court, or whatever you want to call it, we were pretty good on the wings. We took our pride in ourselves in being the best defensive wings in the league. And before I got here, I thought him and Ben were a pretty good tandem that could be in that. So the makeup and the build-up of them too, the reflexes, the length, the athleticism, they remind myself a lot of better versions, or could be better versions of me and Kawhi when we were younger, I would say.
Austin Krell.
Danny, at this point in the season, like transition defense, it is what it is. Do you feel like there's anything that you guys can do at this point in the season to sort of normalize that, or is this kind of like what the team's shortcoming is defensively?
No, there's always something you can do. We can keep striving to get better at it, and I think the biggest thing is just communicating. Guys matching up, not finding their man, but finding a man, and just getting back when the shot goes up. Joe's getting double teamed. Also, it helps with not turning the ball over. We have too many turnovers, it's hard to get back. But if we get better shots and guys getting back as soon as the ball goes up, it's a lot easier to match up and find a man. But there's always ways to improve and get better at it.